What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Josh and I'm here back with another tutorial. But before we hop into this tutorial, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell. So you guys, in this video, as you guys can see, we have a major transformation on our hands. We're cutting his dreads all the way off. So he's gonna look like a totally new person by the end of this video. So stay tuned. So once we're done cutting all the dreads off, we're gonna go in and we're gonna pick out his hair where all the new growth was at, and we're gonna make sure that we comb it out real good so we can get ready to cut it down to the height that we want it to. So like I said, we're gonna be giving my guy a taper. So I'm gonna be cutting the hair down on top to match the sides. Right now I'm starting with my number 2 guard just to clear off some bulk so I can see his pattern, so I can see which way his hair is growing, because he's had dreads for a while and we want to make sure that we cut it right so we don't leave any bald spots or anything in his head by not cutting the hair in the right direction. So right after I got done with my number 2 guard, I went in with my comb and combed his hair out to lift it up off the scalp some more. Then I went right back in with my 1.5 guard. We're going to be cutting his hair down to a 1 guard open eventually, but I was just trying to make sure that I don't go too low, so I just walked down in my guards until I found that sweet spot that matched his hair up perfectly. And right here I have my number 1 guard on with it all the way open, and this ended up matching with the sides perfectly, just barely taking down a little bit off the sides, but you know, it kept it dark and how he wanted it. So this is the height that we're going with. So the first step in my taper is setting in my bald line. He's getting a high taper, so we're doing it with no C cup. That's why I'm setting it in like this. So right after setting in my bald line, I go in with my Wahl Seniors with the lever all the way open. I'm going up about a ½ inch, setting in my next guideline. And once we get that guideline in, we're gonna go in with my clipper with the lever halfway closed, starting under the line and flicking up to the line, just blending that line out. My next guideline in this taper is going to be with my number 1 guard on with the lever all the way closed, going up about another ½ inch, making sure that I'm combing, going with and against the grain, making sure that I get all the hair cut. His hair is kind of growing in different directions on the side, so I have to kind of finesse it. And right here I'm going in with my lever all the way open with the grain, which is the same as the number 1 guard against the grain all the way closed. So right after doing that, setting in that guideline, I'll go in with my ½ guard and I just start under the line and flicking up to the line and blending that line out. Right here I'm going to be doing some detail work around the area where the ½ guard and the 1 guard meet. It kind of didn't blend how I wanted it to, so I'm going in and doing some detail work. So right before I go in with my number 1.5 guard, I'm going in with my number 1 guard, prepping this area to make sure that I get the smoothest blend that I can, because I want to make sure that I'm controlling the hair. So right here I have my number 1.5 guard on with the lever all the way closed, and I'm just going up and taking out some of this bulk in this area. To be honest, the 1.5 guard will not be my primary guard on the side when it comes to blending this fade in. It's mainly going to be that 1 guard all the way open, flicking around in the area where I use the 1.5 guard. Now don't get me wrong, the 1.5 guard did do something. It cut down the hairs that needed to be cut for that height, but initially I'm doing a lot of detail work with my number 1 guard, so that's what's really going to make this fade pop. As you guys can see, I worked my magic, but finishing off this taper fade, I took my guard off and I'm doing some corner blending and I'm doing some raking techniques. Just getting this fade A1 as much as I can by doing a lot of detail work. Moving on to the neck taper. Same way we did the side taper. We're starting off with my bald line with my trimmers, and we're just making this line completely bald, starting off our fade. My next guideline is going to be with my lever all the way open with no guard on, using my cordless Wahl Seniors, going up about a ½ inch, just setting in my next guideline. And just how we did the side taper, my next guideline is going to be with my number 1 guard on with the lever all the way closed, going up about another ½ inch. My fading process really repeats itself. When you guys build a system, it becomes much easier when it comes to fading. So right after going in with my number 1 guard closed, like I do all the time, I come back with my half guard and I start under the line and flick up to the guideline, just blending that line out. So on the neck taper, I decided to use my number 2 guard. By looking at it, it just looked more bulky. So I just wanted to start with a bigger guard just to protect myself. But right after the number 2 guard, I went in with my number 1.5 guard with the lever all the way closed. Just starting under that line and flicking up to that dark line, as you guys can see right there. And we're going to be fading this line out as we fade down in my guards. Our last step for taking out this guideline is to go in with my number 1 guard with the lever all the way open. We started with the number 1 guard closed, and then we went up to the number 2 guard, and then we dropped down to the 1.5. So the next thing after that is to go in with my number 1 guard open, which blends that 1 closed right into that 1.5 area seamlessly. And this is just going to make our fade come out looking almost perfect. As you guys can see, that line disappeared almost immediately. So now we're just going to be doing a little bit more detail work to make it look way better. So right here is the prep for the lineup. I'm going to be applying some holding spray and blow drying it to lock it down. And we're going to go in and start the process of giving my guy the crispiest hairline I can give him. As you guys can see, these Wahl detailers are hitting. There's nothing else to say. You guys know what it is when it comes to the lineups on my haircuts. And just wait on that neckline. That's going to be even crazier. I know when I add the lines to everything, it's so satisfying. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments. Just drop a random comment about what you like about this video. But to me, when I do people beards and like their whole lineup process like all in one wop, it's just really satisfying to see everything come to life because it was so much hair in the way. And to add a nice line just, you know, brings a lot of character to the haircut. So right here we're going to be adding some enhancements to his hairline to take this haircut to a whole nother level. I mean, he already looks like a different guy, as you guys can see. If you've been here from the beginning of the video, please continue to watch to the end. The before and after is going to do a lot of justice just to show you where we brought him from. Adding the finishing touches to this haircut, we gotta make sure that we get my guy in the door with that razor line on the beard. You guys, I appreciate everyone who watched it up until this point. You seen me firsthand dissect this haircut from start to finish. We brought him all the way back and turned him into a new person. Just look at this after. This thing was crazy. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. Follow your boy on Instagram at Joshxbarber and go watch some of my previous tutorials. Stay tuned. It's your boy Josh and I'm out.